going to be on the show?
Yes.
Okay. Hello and welcome, everyone. This is another edition of DarkMatch, the WWE show. We're going to go over the go-home shows to the hotly anticipated pay-per-view on Sunday, Money in the Bank. We'll talk about Raw, we'll talk about SmackDown, we'll run down the Money in the Bank card. As usual, I'm Christopher Says, DarkMatch's Mastodon of the Monotone. With me is...
I am your foxy friend Backlash, and I have been instructed to read the following statement. I am sincerely sorry about comments I made about fans of DarkMatch on the previous shows. Ow! Stop poking me! I'm fucking doing it, okay?
You're not supposed to say you hate them.
It's TNA! It does that to me.
Not in public, at least.
Yes. What we say behind closed doors about our fans is one thing.
Yes, what we say all the time behind closed doors.
Yes. At any rate, I am No Leaf Clover.
And I am the Fat One Subrick here with what the Iron Sheik is tweeting. On the Monday Night Raw, I see the CM Punk talk about Emperor Vince McMahon. He don't cut the hand that feed him, otherwise, fuck him.
See, this is why I said Backlash should have done it.
You're not the Iron Sheik. I am the Iron Sheik. I put you in the camera clutch. I make you humble. But anyways, let's get started. Let's get started with Raw, everybody.
Yay.
And on the subject of CM Punk, guess who's coming out with a megaphone in hand?
Yay.
This can only bring good things.
This will bring glorious.
He pretty much sucks in all the air, takes one of the commentator headsets and, tests it out for God only knows what reason. Gets to see if it works.
Yeah.
And, gets in the ring and cuts his promo. Now.
If we try to go over this entire promo, I think we'll be here all night, because he went on goddamn near 20 minutes, I think.
Somewhat, ain't gonna complain about that, but among the things he said, he's like, I'm the only one in the back with a pair of balls. The rest of the boys are a bunch of ass kissers, stuff like that. He got people to chant CM Punk, spoke about his phone ringing off the hook for ESPN and Jimmy Kimmel. And he's talking about a contract negotiation he and Vince are gonna work up at the end of the night, because Vince is pretty much ran with his tail between his legs, away from the prospect of him going to some other promotion with the belt.
And they're saying this is the first ever contract negotiation that's going to be on Raw. I know they've done contract signings a million times, but have they ever actually done a contract negotiation on Raw before?
I'm sure they have.
Well, one that comes to mind is Bret Hart versus Vince.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't a negotiation. All those were signings. They weren't negotiating a contract right then and there.
Well,
yeah, I guess.
And
but the one thing that got a lot of people, at least on the forum, a little bit taken aback, is when he said that the only two times that anybody pays attention to WWE is when CM Punk is talking and when somebody dies.
Oh yes, and he's quite correct.
Which somehow everybody seemed to interpret as an indirect mention of Chris Benoit.
What?
I don't know.
No.
Because I think he was more referencing the fact that Macho Man's death has gotten a lot of attention from the media recently.
Yeah,
and people were talking about how would WWE even honor him? Would they not join the pack of everyone else who's paying tribute to him? And yeah, it's media. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why they only did the bare minimum on Macho Man.
Oh, well, that's an entirely different discussion for an entirely different show.
Anyways,
yes, then lots and lots of stuff that if we try to talk about it here, your heads would explode with too much awesome. But yes, then the anonymous, I don't remember if it was Cena.
Yeah, Cena shows up basically just to cut a promo saying oh, I'm going to beat you, and oh, you're a hypocrite, and blah, 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 blah.
Well, one of the things that got me excited, even though I don't think this is going to happen, is that CM Punk, he's like, oh, and when I win your title, I'm going to work on that thing, because I've had to look at this piece of trash for the last 5 years or whatever.
6.
We can only dream that he'll fix the belt.
Well, it's certainly, at least the new Intercontinental title isn't a spinner belt.
Well, that's just a rumor. That might just be a prototype design that they're not going to go with. But yeah, it does look decent, but I honestly like the current Intercontinental title belt. If there was a replica title belt, if I was ever going to buy one of those $200 monstrosities, it would probably be the Intercontinental title.
I don't know. I quite like the one that Perfect had.
I still have, from when I was 10 years old, my old foam and plastic WWF Intercontinental title belt with, the Velcro strap.
Yeah, lucky.
Well, I don't like the belt because the guy that designed it is the same guy who designed the fucking TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So he can go fucking die.
Well, that actually makes a lot of sense, given that the whole point of the TNA World Championship was to copy the WWE title.
Here's the problem.
Big gold belt.
Here's the problem that I see. Here's the problem that I see with new belts, with the new belt title belt designs that are being.
I'm gonna have to bring back the TNG counter.
Oh yes. Well, it's because I'm on the show. But anyway, the problem that I see with it is that a lot of these belts seem like they were ripped from the create a title mode on SmackDown vs. Raw. The original SmackDown vs. Raw, where you had fuck all to do with belt creation.
Yeah. But either way,
the penny belts, for instance. The penny belt and the Divas belt.
I mean, be that as it may, I actually thought that what Cena had to say was pretty good.
Yeah.
Usually, when he's challenged, be it The Rock or in this case CM Punk, he usually comes back with a pretty good promo. Many people have said what you've said, that they're just going to beat me for the title. Everyone from John Layfield to Eddie Guerrero to Edge to Batista to Kurt Angle, and they've all turned up wrong.
Yeah.
So what pretension do you think you have of beating me?
I mean, the last couple weeks, why don't they let John Cena cut more promos like the ones he's been cutting the last couple weeks? It's this weird
because
thing.
His normal fan base can't comprehend it.
No, that's bullshit. It's not that his normal fan base can't.
It's because they haven't thought of the idea up until now.
When they let him go out and they just let him talk and say what's on his mind, it seems like he always comes up with fucking good stuff.
Well, that's the thing. They've mostly been keeping him to a script up until now. Punk, he doesn't follow a script. That's why he's always awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I just wish they would let him talk more often. Because when he just talks, then he usually has something halfway decent to say.
I mean, it's not like aw shucks. It's not like his poopy jokes. It's just making a firm, correct statement.
Yeah.
And it was, of course, he was hearing Kurt Angle's name spoken and JBL, not as much. Batista was another one, so it had that aspect of it. Yeah. Before we know it, the GM rings and puts Cena in a match after the break against McGillatunga.
McGillatunga.
And
against
we mentioned the tag belts.
Nexus.
We mentioned the tag belts. Talk about burying your entire division.
Yeah, we're gonna put the fucking belts on.
When Cena talks later about how he rub his crap-filled foot all over something, he actually means the tag belts.
Oh man!
How could you even tell?
Those
it happened
belts,
already.
Well, it's funny you mention it.
No fucking credibility left at all.
No, they don't. But it's funny you mention it. I like this 5-minute match. I liked it. I thought that
it was
Cena,
good.
That they actually made it more of a credible handicap win of Cena kind of at least struggling, at least not just beating someone on an AA or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And for McGillatunga, they performed a good spot where I believe Otunga does an inverted atomic drop and McGillicuddy just right after that did a drop kick. They work well as a team at the very least, even though Otunga is dog shit.
You might not work well as anything else, but as a team, they're pretty good at hiding each other's numerous faults.
Yeah. So Cena wins the match, obviously, and following the commercials, we get a promo for Mark Henry versus Big Show. Jesus Christ, why are they pushing Mark Henry again?
Because he still has 6 years left on his contract.
I don't get this. I don't get why they're making this match a big deal.
Because every 4 years or so, they feel the need to push Mark Henry as a monster, and it doesn't work. The last time they tried to do that, he got buried by The Undertaker. Literally.
I personally think
it was a justified burying.
We should wait for not only SmackDown, but the Money in the Bank rundown, but I will say that Mark Henry and the Big Show feuding with each other is better than them feuding with anyone else, specifically anyone young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with
they've both become useless wastes of space and money so far.
No,
the last couple of years.
I would not call Big Show a useless waste of space and money. Big Show, when called upon, can still have a pretty good match. He can still cut a pretty good promo. He can still do all the things that you need a guy to do. Not so much with Mark Henry, but I don't know. I guess he likes him, or he's been sucking Johnny Ace's cock or something.
Well, Johnny Ace doesn't have the pull that he. Johnny Ace doesn't have the pull that he had since he's letting CM Punk walk. So, and Vince and Triple H are pissed off at him. So,
I know,
he might not be around much longer.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope, yes.
Yeah.
Then hopefully after that, Rabbit Tooth Kevin Dunn will leave.
At any rate,
he looks like the critters that sing "Secret of Survival" for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
You know, Subrick, just when I think you're done, I keep forgetting you always have more to say.
I know.
But let's move on before we spend all night on this, because we're going to have to come back to this when we get to SmackDown. Anyways, Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler are backstage, and they're out to prove that CM Punk is not the only awesome promo cutter on the show. Because they're back there talking about Cena and Punk and Vince, and they start doing impersonations of Vince.
Vicky does a good Vince.
I'm not afraid of you. I'm Vince McMahon. I work out. Oh, that's an echo.
We have an echo.
Echo.
Hello.
Okay.
Not anymore.
We're good.
Anyways. But again, this is another thing where they're like, okay, why don't they let Dolph talk? He can talk.
It's like in terms of
they let
caliber,
his hair do the talking.
In terms of caliber, I don't want to make easy with the iconic comparisons, but stuff like Mick Foley and Edge and Christian, it's like this is the style of promo that they need, the style of backstage promo where there's a little bit of joking around and good comedy, not arbitrary comedy, not involving celebrities or anything, just letting people rip.
Yeah,
it's not Pee Wee Herman and the Divas playing Twister.
Anyways, they keep going with this. Drew McIntyre eventually shows up to join in on the impersonations, and then they do what we all saw coming. Vince slowly materializes behind Dolph Ziggler while they're still making fun of him, and decides he's putting the two of them in a handicap match against the Big Show.
Of course, because they had to be in a fucking match with Big Show. It's like, and when they do this shit, it's either two people. It's fucking Kane or it's The Undertaker. It's getting really fucking old.
Now, and then we also have... Oh, no, go ahead.
For all we know, every time that the anonymous GM does it, could be Theodore Long doing it, since Theodore Long is in love with that kind of gimmick.
Suppose so.
But then we get Scott Stanford coming up to interview Vince McMahon. What did he ask him again? Because I remember it really pissed me off when I heard it.
Oh, no. He basically, Stanford said, what's going on in the contract negotiations with CM Punk? The whole world wants to know. And Vince says, well, tell the world they could all go to hell. I thought he was talking about something else when he said that. Whatever.
And then we get Kelly's boobs.
She has.
She may suck as a wrestler and she may have no personality, but goddamn, how about them titties?
God damn it!
Class.
God damn it, Subrick.
We are class in English.
Yes.
But yes, sadly, those boobs are wasted on a sandwich break. Or not sadly, depending on who you ask.
Oh, God damn it.
Melina versus Kelly.
It's a match where you say, oh shit, she's still employed?
And then, the Bellas are on commentary. This alone will make you want to not watch the rest of the show.
Yeah, especially one of the things I noted about this was that Melina was like laying out some weak ass kicks, like completely unconvincing. It's like usually the Divas matches are just like saccharine, like bland, mediocre, but this one was egregious because I'd never really see Melina doing that horribly.
You apparently have not watched Melina versus Alicia Fox.
That was better, quite honestly. It was.
Fitting since
horrible.
Fucking Ariane. Fitting since Ariane is an FCW now.
Oh, God damn it.
She's gonna get a fucking contract, isn't she?
She has a contract.
I mean, like a full contract.
She's a ring announcer down there. They'll bring her up for like NXT season 31.
Yeah, basically, throughout the match, the Bellas are kind of talking about how Kelly wears too much makeup. She's probably ugly underneath, and she's anorexic, which, coming from, like, anyone is kind of like, I mean, you can't criticize them for it, like, it's probably a better thing that they're doing more than fat jokes, but coming from heels, I don't know if it's the best thing.
No one likes a bully, remember?
Yeah. And,
This match sucked. Kelly wins, who cares? Bella's jumper, Eve comes out, woohoo, every fucking Diva segment for the last 2 months.
Well, the Bellas did botch a line. Like, they were gonna talk about, like, Katy Perry putting on makeup, and instead they go Kelly, like, either saying Kelly or Kelly Clarkson, one of them.
Wait,
but
you mean the fucking Bellas botched something?
Shocker, right?
Say it so! I want Cog back!
You'll get her in about 8 months, 7 months.
Where's fucking Karma when you want her? Fuck, where's fucking Beth Phoenix when you want her?
Don't worry, in several months, Karma will come to collect with the Bellas.
Oh well. At least we have WWE 12 to let us know what we're missing out on.
Yeah, but nonetheless, like,
What?
Eve comes out, woohoo.
Yeah, just what we needed to add to this equation, Eve Torres.
It's like...
she could have been dancing to Get Crunk.
It's like every fucking miserable female wrestler that we don't want to see is on the screen all at the same time. And I like Kelly, generally speaking, but... I think she's probably better than people give her credit for, but I don't know. This was not a good segment at all.
Well, this may not have been, but it actually goes to a really good segment afterwards, and let no one say that CM Punk and John Cena are eclipsing the Money in the Bank hype, because they put it over pretty well for the go home show.
Yeah.
Yes. The segment of the hour, the second best segment of the whole show. Plus, we get to learn about R-Truth's wonderful fascination and phobia with spiders on ladders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miz comes out, and he starts being he climbs up the ladder. No one has a better view, because I'm looking down on all of you, even those up in the nosebleeds. He's used to being on the top. Insert sexual joke here. Most must-see champion ever. La-di-da-di-da.
Still championship material. He's still the future, which I thought was a pretty good line for him to say he's still the future.
Basically, is it just me, or is Miz saying the exact same thing every single week now? I'm the most must-see WWE champion ever. I am the most must-see champion of all time. It gets boring.
Now he's saying must-see WWE superstar, so...
Yeah.
He's starting to get boring. A little
different.
He's starting to get really boring for me, The Miz.
Well, it's because, like, he doesn't really... It's at a point right now where he doesn't have to do a lot to get himself over, but he's getting someone else over and doing a damn good job of it anyway, so...
And honestly, with Money in the Bank right now, he doesn't really have anything to do except feud with, like, these 7 other guys he's in the match with, and he kind of gets diluted in the mix.
Yeah.
Certainly. Swagger's the next person to come out. He
oh my,
starts making fun of the Miz for jobbing to Riley for the past, like, few weeks, and he says, like, hey, I won this too, and I'll do it again. Yes. Everyone.
And then everybody. Everybody on the internet makes fun of Swagger for jobbing for the 2 months he was champion.
Well, yeah.
I gotta say, people give Swagger shit. He's adorable on the mic, isn't he?
No. If you consider lisping to be adorable.
I don't know.
I'm
every time
Jack Swagger.
I just want to say, "Aw, you're trying so hard, aren't you?"
Isn't that?
But yeah, trying so hard. Like,
yes.
I was going about. Orton pretty much comes out and says something fairly standard fare for any babyface, but he does it better than Swagger.
God damn it, real phony. Fuck.
What?
Anyways.
We lost Subrick, whatever.
But yeah, Bourne pretty much says he's going to steal the show and get the case, and nobody believes him, unfortunately. I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to skyrocket him at this point, but yeah, at least he got the mic.
Then it's time for Kofi to come out, and...
Here's another guy who I don't understand why they don't let him talk. You have all these guys who are actually pretty decent fucking at cutting promos, but they never let them say anything.
Yeah, and like Kofi is really good at like not only cutting a promo with each other, but hyping things.
Yeah.
Like he's like, the stage is set, everyone. No, like all we're doing is talking, but how are we going to take it to action? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's like as much of a narrator as he is like a competitor against like everyone else.
So next it's time for R-Truth to come out, who's still claiming that everything is a conspiracy because he has what he called acrophobia.
I believe acrophobia is legit word for fear of heights, isn't it? Like,
yeah, that's fear of heights.
Michael,
he didn't say
Michael Cole
on the show.
It. Yeah, Michael Cole. He sounds like he says arachnophobia, which he rolls with. He gloriously rolls with it.
No, the way I heard this promo, it was basically like, he said acrophobia, and then R-Truth started talking about spiders, and then he's like, when I'm up high, they know that if there's any spiders in that briefcase, like that kind of, so it's almost as if he tried to correct it by himself, but at the same time, it could be like the Geico thing where he's just crazy. Like,
does anybody else think that just Warrior, like the Ultimate Warrior, is channeling himself now through R-Truth?
I don't know.
Like,
it's a little bit more coherent than Warrior.
But still, I have acrophobia. I'm going to climb up this ladder. If there's any spiders around this ladder, I'm running. There'll be a big spider in the briefcase. It'll get got.
Well,
not exactly load the spaceship with the rocket fuel and send it to parts unknown, Hulk Hogan.
It's not so much. It's kind of stupid crazy. Warrior is more word salad crazy.
No, no. What it is Warrior is actually fucking crazy. He's not fake.
Warrior
He's not pretending to be crazy. He's actually fucking nuts. That's the difference.
It was all.
Well, yeah, that is true.
Look, if anyone knows that Warrior's crazy, it's me. Okay.
Oh yeah. And by the way, watch Backlash's video on Ultimate Warrior's 1 hour special trying to bury Hulk Hogan.
Shameless plug.
Try keyword.
Insert link here.
Next, but then Del Rio comes out.
Riley comes out, and then Miz runs. Riley doesn't get to talk.
Which is probably a good thing in his favor, honestly.
It's just like when Kelly got to beat up CM Punk, but he didn't.
Wait, what?
No, during one of the house shows.
Oh yeah.
All the faces ganged up on CM Punk, and Beth Phoenix and Kelly got to beat the shit out of him. And when Alex Riley went to go do it, he got Muda missed.
He did.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me about that. That actually made me smile.
And then Del Rio comes out. I'm supposed to be number one contender. He comes out in what, according to these results, says a 2011 Mercedes SL63. Every single car buff in history needs to watch Monday Night Raw from now on.
Including you, Allie.
Del Rio comes out. He says Cena is afraid of Del Rio. I beat Rey Mysterio. I should be number one contender. Why is Cena facing Punk? Has to go all over it again. Show his destiny. Become WWE champion. Blah, blah, blah. 6 days. Teach him a lesson. And then Dominus GM chimes in, and I quote, Alberto Del Rio has a point. 6 of the MITB competitors. Miz, Swagger, and R-Truth versus Riley, Kofi, and Evan Bourne. 6-man tag match. And Miz is pissed off. Why isn't Alberto Del Rio in this match? Why? Video for Big Show on Burn Notice. Who gives a fuck? Nobody watches Burn Notice. At least no one here.
People watch Burn Notice. Fuck you. I don't like that show, asshole.
We found one.
Well, I've only watched a couple of episodes because of Bruce Campbell. But yes, and then 6-man tag, rather good match.
The question is, why were Del Rio and Mysterio not included in this match? I don't get it. Why was Mysterio not even included in the promo?
Well, because Mysterio doesn't really have a beef with anyone beyond Del Rio.
He wasn't on the show. Was he on? Was Mysterio on the show?
He was not on the show.
He's really the very downplayed aspect of this match, if anything. Like,
here's the thing I do not understand. Rey Mysterio has lost week in and week out for the last month and a half. Why is he in the title picture?
Because he's Rey Mysterio, that's why. Because they need to fill a spot.
He has fucking merch power. That's the only reason why. But from a logic standpoint, Rey Mysterio should not even be anywhere near the United States title. He's lost straight for a month and a half clean.
There's nothing really set in stone in terms of like the title picture.
Well, he's just in Money in the Bank. It's not like he's getting a title shot.
Yeah, I mean he's just gonna end the match because he doesn't have any. I mean that's what this match is. It's the match for people that don't have anything else to fucking.
Yeah, he'll do a spot or two.
Even still, like Ray's knees have been fucked for the last 2 years, so he isn't really going to be able to do a lot of super high spots.
Well, they just wanted to put him in the match. You can't just not do anything with him. He doesn't have a feud right now. He's not feuding with anyone specific, so they decided to put him in a match. It's quite simple.
Nonetheless, like to get back to this match, like a couple of like the good spots were. Early on, Jack Swagger does this really good belly-to-belly takedown on Evan Bourne. Like, the finish itself was alright with Alex Riley delivering a spine buster to Jack Swagger and then doing the impaler to him. And they had like a post-match, I guess you'd call it a finisher, live montage with skull-crushing finale on Riley, Trouble in Paradise on Miz, Bourne about to do Shooting Star, but then Del Rio pretty much crashes the party. Like, starts cracking everyone's ladder.
Miz got whacked with that fucking thing.
Like, he's still paying his dues, I guess.
Oh, man. I main evented WrestleMania. Who cares? Get smacked in the face with a ladder.
No, I main evented WrestleMania. It doesn't matter if you main evented WrestleMania.
Oh, God.
There's a reason why I called that match The Rock versus John Cena with special guest The Miz.
Don't get me started on that shit.
Okay, we won't.
We had our chance to do a WrestleMania show. We didn't do it. Let's move on.
And then they play the opening segment again. Now we get the supposed squash, but not really. Big Show versus D&D with Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, this is pretty much a train wreck.
Train wreck, including the ending spot.
Oh God, that was
the worst. That was probably the worst took stage bump
ever. It was a fucked up finish. Just call it what it is. What happens is Big Show's about to chokeslam Drew McIntyre off the stage, and there's an obvious pad there. Anyone can see it. He lifts him up, and Mark Henry blindsides him from behind. Henry and Big Show land on the mat. Drew McIntyre flies off to the right, lands on the concrete, his knee bouncing off the mat.
And he breaks it.
Actually, what he did was he landed on the very edge, the very corner of the area of the wood surroundings, and he fucking bounced off of that, and they threw the X up for him. So,
did anyone read any reports? Like, is he okay?
Well, the ref threw up the X, so. No, the ref threw up the X before the commercial.
Yeah, there's been no, injury updates at all.
That's because nobody cares about Drew McIntyre, which, I hate to make light, but, someone threw up the X. There hasn't been any reports, but it was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Wow, that was sensitive of me.
For all we know, Drew could be fucking paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
We were making the joke when it happened.
What the hell?
We were making the joke when it happened. Drew McIntyre has been future endeavored from life.
Oh yeah, that's someone edited Wikipedia. That was. And now we make more light.
Oh, we are horrible, horrible people.
If there's a hell, we will all be Satan's bitches.
I mean, and I could even say that this was a daring spot. It was an interesting spot, if not for the bad result. But when I said that the match was a train wreck, I meant because it was one of those really pointless time fillers that just went to a count out. And the end result, it would have been exciting had Drew not got injured.
It was only there to calm the crowd down for the contract negotiation. Although it was nice though to see a stage bump again, because there haven't been many off the stage bumps in a long time.
You know what?
That's because the stage is 2 feet tall now. Something just hit me just now.
What?
When it comes to WWE recently, we haven't been seeing very many main events, so to speak. The shows have always been ending on promos.
The main promo of the night.
For the past couple of weeks.
Funny coincidence, because TNA is now doing that thing where they have their quote-unquote main event match, and then they have the quote-unquote reaction segments. Can't call them that because that show got canceled very expectedly.
Reaction, but we're going to put reaction on Impact so you can reaction while you reaction.
But yeah.
As we reaction to the reaction of everyone else's reaction.
But, let's talk about that last promo, shall we?
Yes. Punk shows that he is the best talker in wrestling today. Hands down.
Actually, before we get to the promo, I want to talk about Vince McMahon's entrance, because it was funny.
Oh, my.
Because he first comes out, and the crowd, they kind of pop for him, but he's like, no, we're not going to do that. And he starts to walk to the back, and then I forget his name.
Justin Roberts.
Yeah, Justin Roberts. He goes ahead and announces Vince McMahon anyways, and Vince just gives him a look like, oh, you are so fired. He walks to the back, he walks back out again.
Go back to telling people working tryout matches not to get themselves over. That's your job. But the second notable thing about this entrance is that midway down the ramp, or 3/4 of the way down the ramp, he spots someone with a very clear black Zack Ryder sign, points at it, kind of gives himself a chuckle, then just walks away.
Vince Beach rolling.
So if this doesn't confirm anything else, Arrow, you're right. The Johnny Curtis segments are fucking satirizing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if nothing else, there was a whole GQ interview posted on the forums that we usually post in, And CM Punk spoke about this promo, and he basically said one of the best aspects of it was that Vince and I were kind of trying to make each other laugh. Like, we were having fun. And, like, for such a serious, like, high-profile angle, like, that's a very refreshing way to look for it. I guess at this point we should go through some highlights.
Well, as far as the contract negotiations, if we try to touch on everything, we're going to be here all night. But they start down, and Vince has a contract drawn up with pretty much everything that CM Punk wanted, more or less.
Wait, we forgot one thing. We forgot something. When CM Punk's entrance, he comes out, and he's mimicking Vince's stick in the ass strut.
Yep, he's doing the strut. He's strutting.
One of my favorite things was, like, them introducing each other, and CM Punk goes, "Hey, everyone, it's Vince McMahon. What a maneuver!" Like, that's just, oh, my God. Oh, pure nostalgia.
But Punk has a new contract that he's drawn up, and I've got everything he had in it right here. The first thing he wants is his own jet. Second thing, he wants his own jet. Yeah, he wants his own private jet, probably with his face on the front of it.
My favorite line of that part is he's like,
hold on. He's running down the list. Just wait.
Number 2 is he wants his face on everything. The Titantron, the turnbuckles, cups, posters, spoons, shoes, socks, everything. Punk also wants ice cream bars brought back, the WWE ice cream bars, if anyone remembers that.
Yeah.
And he just says, "Hey, I just made you $1 million on ice cream sales." He also wants WWE Studios to start producing CM Punk the movie. I'd watch that.
A remake of Cannonball Run.
And he'd call it the Chaperone 2, but his will be funny and successful. Punk also wants to main event at WrestleMania 28. He says Vince can keep The Rock versus John Cena, but he wants to be the main event. The last thing the contract says is that Vince has to apologize for suspending him last week. And Punk really says that Vince is apologizing to the fans for being one of the biggest hypocrites he's ever seen, bringing up the anti-bullying campaign and saying Vince is one of the biggest bullies he's ever seen.
Yeah, I buy that.
Go on about what you were going to say about the jet, Subrick, because I think I know what you're referring to.
Yes. One of my favorite lines in this whole segment was just he says, "Number 1, I want my own jet. I want my own jet, and I don't want your jet. Your jet smells."
Wainwright from hell, anyone?
It smells of barley and hops.
There you go.
Yes. And then he says, then CM Punk chants, "Fill the arena," and then Punk says that he's had very talented friends that worked there and were unceremoniously fired. Vince says they were deserved to fire. Punk channels the internet wrestling community and says that Vince does not know what the fans want. He says the fans want guys like Luke Gallows and Colt Cabana, which later garnishes a wonderful Colt Cabana chant from everyone in the crowd.
And we want wrestling,
awesome
too.
Promo. We want wrestling.
And
yes,
to which Vince actually responds, "I don't care what you want." He yells it.
If there was ever that list that they said about on all the wrestling sites that said that the promo guys and the commentators that they couldn't say wrestling on air, I'm pretty sure that with these CM Punk promos, they used it as toilet paper, set it on fire, and flushed the ashes down the toilet.
Well, I think a lot of the rumors are overblown. For instance, like, I'm sure it's a policy that you'd refer to as action sports opera. Action soap opera.
I've not heard that.
Whatever.
I've actually not heard that term on TV, action soap opera.
But it's like one example that I always tend to go to is that last year rumors popped up in the dirt sheets that WWE wrestlers are not allowed to use knife-edge chops because it would refer to Ric Flair and he's in TNA. Yeah, well, with all the references to Hulk Hogan, references to Shelton Benjamin and ROH, like all this other shit, and people do fucking use knife-edge chops. Like, I would think stuff like that is a little bit, like, if there was any, like, word backstage, it would probably be, like, cut down or anything. But I don't think that, certain rumors might be a little bit frivolous, but.
Yeah. Well, Vince says that he doesn't give a damn what the crowd wants. So Punk says that's the problem, that he doesn't give a damn. Punk's problem is that he cares too much. Yes, he's a bad guy, but he's in touch with what the fans want, and what the fans want right now is an apology. Vince gives the most sheepish apology, sorry. Punk keeps asking him, what? I can't hear you. I apologize, you son of a bitch.
They said son of a bitch.
And then Punk's like, this is better than winning the world title 3 times. Vince McMahon, apologize to me. Then Punk says another glorious line, which I immediately got since I used to hold WWE stock. He says, sign the contract before the stock plummets more. To which we get the Colt Cabana chant and more we want ice cream chants. Vince is about to sign it, and then Cena comes out, and no one in the crowd is wanting that. There were no Cena cheers when he came out. It was all a chorus of boos that rang of, we do not want you here, do not ruin this.
It
was like X-Pac.
I can understand it from like a logical standpoint, but like what CM Punk ends with at the end of this whole entire thing, which we'll get to, is I think is very apt for Cena's like entrance into this portion of the show. And nonetheless, like Cena kind of like one of the things that Cena says to Punk is that he's a terrorist, which like. Yeah. One of the things that like kind of I had a problem with was Cena was like, "Oh, Punk, you're gonna walk out on every one of us," and saying this while Punk is negotiating a contract. I don't know what that means.
I didn't get it.
The vibe that I got from Cena's portion in this is that they are temporarily turning him into a sort of heel, since nobody is going to cheer him on Sunday.
No, I think that's just
everybody's going to cheer for Punk.
I think that's just what a lot of people want. Like, I don't think that any kind of full heel turn is coming to fruition. Like,
there's not going to be a full heel turn. But they're kind of playing it like they know that Cena's not going to be over just this one night.
No.
Well, also remember One Night Stand 2006? Cena played the heel that night. He played the heel wonderfully, and it would have been much better if he played the heel from then on. But that's years ago. But then CM Punk, he says, you're the biggest hypocrite of all. And he starts running down a list of sports teams, and he eventually says it's
all the Boston sports teams. The Red Sox, the Bruins, Celtics, the Patriots. Yeah.
And then Cena is called. Punk says that you're no longer the underdog. You've become what you hate. You have become the dynasty. You are the New York Yankees.
To which Cena delivers what looked like a shoot punch. It did. That looked genuine.
You motherfucker! Ow!
It's his New England reflexes, if anything.
I can vouch for
also,
that.
Being from New York, I can also.
Cena's Boston accent came out during this.
He's like, you son of a bitch! Cena, I was just working the crowd. I don't care! How dare you, sir!
But, after all this, like, all these shenanigans, Punk just runs up the ramp with the contract, and he's like, you know what? I really want to leave WWE, on Sunday, say goodbye to the title, say goodbye to John Cena, and say goodbye to CM Punk, because I'm just tired. I'm just tired of you, John Cena. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, for like, the feeling of a lot of the people, be it on the internet or maybe in the crowd who didn't give Cena much of a reaction when he came out, I think that what CM Punk said that he's tired is kind of like an echo of that.
Yeah.
Like when people say like, oh, CM Punk represents the internet or whatever, but I mean, and it's like and we always try to stress like John Cena's a good worker, and like we just praised like his talent to cut promos, like the one he did in the beginning of the show, but nonetheless, like the feeling was still there to me.
Right. Then he tears up the contract and the show.
So what did you guys think about Raw?
It was a good show. It was good for a go-home show. Obviously light on the wrestling, heavy on the promos. the one real match that we got was good. The 6-man tag. The Divas match, obvious piss break. The Drew McIntyre dies moment. It built up the match Sunday.
That's basically all you can ask for on a show like this, because that's what the go-home show is supposed to be, and they honestly haven't been doing a very good job of that up until now. I mean, I don't think I've been this hyped to see a WWE pay-per-view in quite a while.
And, like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Since WrestleMania.
Certainly, but, like, one thing I find coincidental and funny is that we don't know what's going to happen after Sunday. We don't know how SummerSlam is going to be hyped, but already, like, Money in the Bank looks a lot more exciting than SummerSlam, just like Extreme Rules turned out to be a much better pay-per-view than WrestleMania.
I just thought of something really mean about Drew McIntyre, is that if he actually is severely injured and he has to retire, then he has to retire with the knowledge that he got injured as a prop in a Mark Henry feud.
Well, you gotta go busting balls.
Yeah.
Is it not bad enough that he might be injured? You have to rub it in. I mean, why don't you talk about his crazy ex-wife, too?
We got this guy, Subrick. He's a real ball breaker.
But enough of Raw. I think it's time we move on to SmackDown.
Yeah, unfortunately, the blander side of the pay-per-view, but then again, like the Raw side is CM Punk versus John Cena, so with high stakes.
But the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match has more, ladder match suitable talent.
And honestly, it's probably leaving us with a little bit more curious about who could win, because I think with the Raw Money in the Bank, we're all in agreement it's going to be Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
But with SmackDown, it could be Sheamus, it could be Wade Barrett, it could be Cody Rhodes. You don't know.
But yeah, we'll get to that when we run down the card. But either way, SmackDown starts out with Josh Matthews bringing in Orton, who they're standing together, and it's like the size difference is considerable, and it really doesn't make you wonder why Josh Matthews never got past the Tough Enough competition. Like they're like, no, we don't like your look.
They're like, yeah, you're never gonna get over here, kid. And you can't. And he was a small guy that couldn't do a moonsault. So
the most over that Josh Matthews has ever gotten was when he got possessed by the Undertaker.
I've never seen that.
Well, we know what we're doing after the show.
Yep.
But either way, like the promo that Orton cuts is fairly the usual blunt, brutish, kind of simple Orton stuff that he says. Christian interrupts him in the midst of it by saying, like, I don't want to antagonize you, I just want a good match, And he proceeds with, like, heel lies. He proceeds to show him, like, a picture of him standing with the title after the first time he made his heel turn and clocked him with it. Yeah, and Orton's like, oh, I expect more from you. Christian starts insulting Bob Orton, saying that, like, the only reason they put him in the Hall of Fame was so they could make you happy, and he just stands there with Drew Carey, while elsewhere is Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, etc. Like, fairly, it doesn't make as great of an impact.
I liked it.
Like, it was good, but like, there's really not much else to say. Like, these two have been going back and forth for weeks. Like, one thing he said, Christian said, like, he's like, I don't have to beat you by DQ. I just want to have a good match. And then by the end of it, he's like, I'll show you when I beat you by either pinfall, submission, or DQ. Like, he's being the heel, kind of talking out of two sides of his mouth. But Orton ends this by saying, like, I'm gonna beat you and you'll remain the same pathetic, whiny, bitchy flash in the pan. So once again, we're getting a little bit more lax with the language.
Yeah. Well, did he say bitchy? I didn't catch that part.
He did say bitchy. He'd say bitchy.
Yeah, I guess they're like, you know what, fuck it. We can still say bitch when we're PG-13, when we're, TV PG.
Yeah. So what else did you guys think?
Yeah, let's just move on to the match. The first match.
What?
Like, they recap Henry and Show, and Josh Matthews has one particular line. He's like, this is something out of Transformers.
What?
What?
Why?
Oh.
What is something out of Transformers?
A relevancy.
This train wreck of a match that will be Big Show versus Mark Henry.
Yeah, it's basically like this attempt at relevancy is something out of Transformers.
It means, well, it depends on which shitty Transformers he means. Does he mean the new Transformers, which sucks, or does he mean the second one, which sucks even more?
That Transformers movie that's coming out, that's currently out, that's making a lot of money, and that we'd like to reference for our child audience is
because a Michael Bay movie with of fucking robot dog humping legs. That's fucking PG. That's for kids.
All right, moving on from that. What the fuck?
One. Zeke versus Ted for the title. Why is it for the title? I don't know. Not like Ted's gonna win anyway.
Yeah, like in terms of the match that's coming up, like I have a question for you guys. Do you know if anything happened to Tony Chimmel?
I don't know. I think they just brought in a new ring announcer.
I hope it's just he's just sick or something because Eden Styles is all right, but I don't want to.
She's kind of pretty to look at.
It's like I don't want to just completely replace Tony Chimmel that soon.
It's so
especially after he's been doing the announcing stuff since '90s. He's been doing the announcing stuff since '97. So just taking him off would be kind of low.
Yeah. So about this match, there's not really any memorable spots. Zeke didn't bust out the scoop slams.
Why is he doing that? They got that shit over, and now they don't do it anymore.
He did 3. He did 3.
Where?
No, he did 2, and then he put on the rack. Ted DiBiase got out of it, did another one, and then he tapped Ted DiBiase with the rack.
No, you have to do it 3 in a row. They're already fucking.
No, you have to do it 5 in a row, but
minimum 3, maximum 8. That's the rule.
I guess so. But in the midst of this match, like the whole thing is about Ted DiBiase like kind of falling by the wayside, and Michael Cole's talking about Cody Rhodes being his life coach, comparing him to Kenny Powers. I don't watch Eastbound and Down, but like, please enlighten me if any of you do. Nobody watches Eastbound and Down.
Nope.
No one here watches Eastbound
and Down. But Ted DiBiase made an effort. One of the to kind of combat someone like Ezekiel Jackson. Like he does a shoulder block into the ring post, and then he immediately does a drop kick. I thought that was a good spot. Nonetheless, this match wasn't anything to write home about.
It wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't a great match either. It was just kind of there.
Yes. And then they tease a legacy breakup. Yay.
Because we just got them back together, we're already breaking them up.
This is TNA booking.
I think the whole point of this feud really has been to kind of give Ted his own personality so that he can eventually feud with Cody Rhodes anyways. I was never I never had the thought that, they were trying to build them up as a legitimate tag team. I always thought it was just means to get them to feud.
They're trying to use Cody's heat to get Ted over, which
pretty much
isn't really
which was not working. No one is going to take Ted seriously, ever.
Honestly, it's like we were kind of riffing the match as it was happening on TV because, like when people, this was for the Intercontinental Champion, how the wrestlers, the challengers, especially if they're heels, they do that sort of diamond cutting thing for their waist to represent the belt.
Yeah.
It's like Ted did that, except first he kind of presented his body. It was like, look at these abs. These abs have what it takes to win the championship. And it's like we're making needless riffs like that. So yeah, Ted is people really taking it seriously.
Yeah.
But let's move on to a better match. Yes. Daniel Bryan versus Cody Rhodes.
With his back win. Oh, by the way, before this match, they played a video package, kind of like the kind that they would play for a pay-per-view. You know what would have been awesome? If they got rid of the Divas title match and put this on instead.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They might.
Well, wait, aren't they both in the Money in the Bank match?
Yeah, they're both in the Money in the Bank match. So, like, they might have a superfluous extra match, but I don't know who would be. Maybe it's Miguel Otunga versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. We can only hope. But
wherein Zack Ryder will drop to New Nexus because nothing says nothing says not being respected by the higher ups by losing to New Nexus.
But yeah, like nonetheless, Cody and Daniel Bryan, they tear it up every week. It was the same thing here. Like they're both adept at doing their usual spots. Like hopefully this doesn't wear thin. Like their feud.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might end it because Cody finally got the win, and a clean win of all things. Because they finish up the match with Rhodes hitting the beautiful disaster off the ropes, rolling up Bryan for the win.
Yeah, it was after a crutch, and it was a decent enough finish. They're trying to get that move over along with the Crossroads. I'm glad they're doing this with people.
Yeah.
Another thing that Rhodes busted out throughout the match was a half crab, which like he looks pretty good doing.
You know what's the one move that I would love to see used again?
What?
The Billy Goat's Curse.
You mean
you never know?
Freaking Colt Cabana's move?
Who the hell knows? CM Punk
the one that Randy Orton used it on Christian at Over the Limit.
Like Christopher says that Punk might bust it out just for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, plus Colt Cabana is gonna be at Money in the Bank.
I wish he was going to be on TV at fucking Money in the Bank.
Can't ask for everything.
Who knows?
If he has a front row seat, they might put the camera on him at some point.
But yeah, true. One thing I do want to talk about Danielson and Rhodes' match, though, is that Michael Cole, one of the bagmen gives a bag to Booker T, and then Michael Cole takes it and he puts it on and he's going nuts throughout the entire thing. They start talking about the Money in the Bank matches, and for some reason Booker doesn't want to put over his own participation in one of the previous matches. Like I don't any indications why, because I didn't see his
because he was.
Well,
I think it's because he was King Booker in that match, and we don't like to forget King Booker.
No, they spoke about him. They spoke about him.
This goes into a point that I wanted to talk about, which is like, I know people don't, I know Booker's not a good commentator, okay? I know, I understand that. But I'm fucking tired of Cole ripping on him the entire fucking show. We know he's fucking bad. We're not under any delusions that he's not bad.
I mean, I thought
he's not horrendous. He's so bad he's good. He isn't Mike Adamle, and he's not the super heel Michael Cole. He's bad to the point of being amused by him.
What I personally think the worst side of this is that when he put on the paper bag and he started like going nuts and yelling, like the camera cut to him. So it's like, yeah, you're taking up the camera that could be focusing on the match.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I'm just sick of fucking hearing Michael. I know I bitch about Michael Cole all the fucking time, but it's getting really fucking old. That like 3/4 of every fucking SmackDown is just him it's him not paying attention to the match and just fucking bagging on fucking Booker T.
Here's the unfortunate implications of this, though. Booker is the only one that Cole still continuously rips into every show. He does not rip into Matthews. He does not rip into King. And Booker's black. So from a character standpoint, definite unfortunate implications.
From a character standpoint, he's a homophobe and he's a racist.
It's just very unfortunate implications.
I don't want. It's bad enough I gotta listen to this asshole talk. I don't want him fucking bagging on another comment and not paying attention to the match. He doesn't pay attention to the fucking match. bags on fucking Booker T.
Yeah.
I understand, and I know that Booker T sucks on commentary.
It's on Raw. On Raw, he doesn't go. He is rather mellow on Raw. On SmackDown, he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but I don't care. I just don't want it to happen anymore, I guess. And I'll stop complaining about it and we can move on.
Yeah, it's like how when the entirety of the time that Cole was feuding with Jerry Lawler, he would bury every other segment of the show without any shame whatsoever.
Yeah, just to put over their feud.
The entirety of over the limit, I think. Over the limit. The entire time before the Cole Lawler match, Cole was burying everything else on the show and putting himself over all over the place. And that's not how a wrestling commentator is supposed to behave. I mean, I know
if you compare someone like, say, Cole and Heenan, Cole just won't fucking stop talking about and won't stop yelling, won't stop taking over. And what Heenan would do is he would quip to someone and then he would move on.
Yeah, exactly. He
wouldn't. Moving on.
Are we done beating the dead horse of Michael Cole yet?
I'm sorry. I know I got us on a fucking tangent. I'm just fucking sick of fucking hearing.
We're all sick of Michael Cole. We've been sick of him since he turned heel.
Insert the counter here. Next, we've got Teddy Long backstage. He says that if Mark Henry and Big Show have any contact physically tonight, their match on Sunday will be canceled. Please, please, if there is a God, if there is a real God, let Henry and Big Show kick each other's ass tonight.
Yeah, we wouldn't want a cancellation like that.
Yeah, don't hold out hope for that.
And of all people, Kane comes in and he's like, I want to thank you, Teddy, for giving me this match against Orton. He talks about how he's a monster, but he's starting to lose, so he's starting to feel like a human being, and that doesn't feel good.
By the way, Kane says perhaps the most untrue line in WWE ever.
What?
I'm a monster, and monsters don't lose to anyone. Talk to Vader. Talk to Great Khali. Talk to Undertaker. Talk to Kane. Talk to Big Show. Talk to Diesel.
Talk to Abyss.
Talk to Mark Henry. Talk to Matt Morgan. Talk to Brock Lesnar. Talk to Nathan Jones. Talk to Albert A-Train. Talk to...
Okay.
Who's another big dude?
Get it!
Okay.
Then to give him credit though, like I don't want to talk about this next segment, which is Jinder Mahal at a photo shoot with Khali, and once the photographer starts shooting Khali exclusively, and Mahal starts yelling at the guy in Punjab, and he's like, "I'm the star," and sorry, I invite this. This isn't a gimmick. Everyone takes notes. Like I wrote next to that, "Please."
Wait, you mean the Jolly Green Giant isn't really that interesting?
No.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Then next we get, because nobody gives a fuck about Jinder Mahal, Christian's in the parking lot. He sees Randy Orton's motor coach. Christian's impressed. Someone's defaced the motor coach by spray painting on it, Orton sucks, in wonderful leet speak. And
yeah, Christian definitely didn't do that. Nope.
No.
And Teddy Long equals moron. Christian is uncrowned world champion. And Christian feigns concern. I have to find the one who did this. Christian is glorious when he wants to be.
He needs to get back into the habit of creating acronyms. Or creating abbreviations.
Yeah. I want him during this heel turn to use the term reeks of awesomeness in a super heel manner. Like if he wins on Sunday, the very first line that he says on his winning promo on SmackDown is, "I haven't said this in a long time, but this reeks of awesome."
But
number 3, we get Sheamus versus Blue Lighting Dude, aka Sin Cara.
With Wade Barrett in the midst of this on commentary, and that guy, his FCW days on commentary really made him good at that.
Yeah. I don't know. What did everyone think of this match?
We got to see again why Sheamus is much better with smaller guys than with guys his size.
Yeah, I mean, I thought like it was kind of like a match where they hit all their usual spots, you know, like Sin Cara does his like satellite arm drags and Sheamus does his Polish hammer and Irish curse and stuff like that.
Yeah. It was kind of every match. It wasn't a bad match. It just was.
Sin Cara.
It was your normal Sin Cara match.
And if he did, they cut it out at least.
Well, that's because he's with Sheamus, and Sheamus is probably the best opponent he's had.
Well, he wrestled Christian.
Yeah.
One of the things that Wade Barrett said, one of the things he said on commentary though was that the core was a big mistake.
No, really, I never would have guessed.
Oh.
And then that's a vicious and cruel lie that he just told.
Sin Cara wins, and then Wade Barrett kicks Sheamus in the face, hits Wasteland. Barrett points at the briefcase. He's saying, "The Rioters will never let me have this."
They might.
They might.
We'll get to that, but one of the stupid things was that he big boots Sheamus and after Sin Cara wins, and Cole calls it a bro kick, which yeah, fuck you.
Whatever.
MVP is somewhere in Japan writing out a copyright infringement lawsuit or a gimmick infringement suit.
But yeah,
next we get another wonderful Christian segment. He finds Randy Orton's wallet. He puts all of it on one at the roulette table. He loses all of it.
I just want to ask, how hilarious would it have been if he actually won?
Oh God. That would have been awesome.
Oh, and the other thing he says is that maybe I can use the money for anger management classes.
This is pretty much Christian's gimmick for the night, because he can win the belt on a disqualification, so he's trying to piss off Orton any way he knows how and can.
To make him angry.
It's like how the build up for Cena versus JBL at WrestleMania 21 was, because Cena couldn't touch JBL at all without being provoked. So JBL would, talk shit about Cena's mom to his face, like talking about how she would sleep with every dude on the planet. It was some of JBL's best talking work. Look it up. It's very good.
Yeah, but one of the things that Christian basically bet like a grand on the number one in roulette, because that's Orton's birthday, April 1st, and he follows that by saying, "I'm sure there's a joke somewhere." He's like, "I'm betting for your daughter Alana in her college fund." It's a cute segment, but
Christian's just trolling Andy tonight.
Yeah. That's the word.
And then he loses.
Do we have to talk about the next segment? Because I don't wanna.
Oh, you mean Teddy Long?
Because I feel like we've been talking about this all goddamn night.
Yeah, he's basically in the ring.
Plastering it all over the goddamn shows.
Yeah, he's moderating the Henry and Big Show face-off, and like Henry restrains himself by staying near the entrance, and both of them they both put over their tempers and how don't push me. Oh, you don't want to push me? Don't push me. Something like that. Oh yeah. Fucking Mark Henry says one of the fucking stupidest, funniest thing. He goes like, in terms of our comparison or something, he's like, bigger, stronger is better than bigger. Better is stronger than bigger.
What?
No, he says better is better. Just to sum it up.
Well, no shit! Better worse.
Excuse me while I state the obvious.
Yes. Bigger is actually worse. Man. Henry sucks at talking.
Yeah, and we have our next singles match. Why have AJ when you could have Kelly versus Rosa Mendez?
Yeah, with Alicia Fox of all people.
Oh yeah, and the only one thing I want to go on.
This was shorter than the Monday show, shorter than the Monday match. Probably for a good reason, because Rosa Mendez is worse than Kelly. The only good that that Rosa Mendez has had this year was when she was in those tight leather pants watching while Alberto Del Rio kicked the shit out of Hornswoggle.
But I'm sorry, I just got lost in the idea of those tight.
This is just fuck it.
It was just nothing. But like one thing I had a problem with was Rosa Mendez comes out and I think Josh Matthews tries to put over that she was a runway model in Czech Republic, and Cole the heel he is apparently now a jingoist. He said Czech Republic, not a place like Miami or LA or something like that. Like
There's apparently he has a problem with the Czech Republic too.
Well, number one, fucking Rosa Mendez is the heel. Number two, yeah, there's no need to be a jingoist.
Whatever. Kelly
wins.
Actually,
if Michael Cole is the heel, shouldn't he be playing up the Czech Republic since Rosa Mendez is the bad person?
That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
Or if I may quote The Simpsons, that's the joke.
And then they follow up a piss break with a Johnny Curtis segment.
Probably the best one, too.
This got him trending on Twitter.
Johnny Curtis is in the locker room. I have a secret for everyone. I'll be making my debut sooner than you think on Superstars, probably. Johnny says that he's going to let the cat out of the bag, but there was an elephant in the bag instead. He also production guy says the cat ran up a tree. The elephant is in the room next week.
He's like, Mikey, the elephant in the room gag is next week.
I don't get these at all.
No, you know what it is? Arrow told me. He thought of it. Like, basically, Arrow said that this is Vince or Creative's way of lampooning Zack Ryder's thing, because he always does those puns like, I'm trying to get over. Like him climbing over a fence, or this is the WWE dropping the ball on Zack Ryder. I think that's what they're doing. Like, Arrow has a good point.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing, too. It's kind of obvious.
Well, we get to our next match, and if you thought the Divas match was the bathroom break, I haven't finished taking that piss yet. Because it's Heath Slater versus Justin Gabriel.
Oh, yes. Any chance I get to make fun of Heath Slater, he gets to cut a dirt promo.
You don't even have to make fun of him. The guy...
Because I'm the one-man rock band, baby!
What is wrong with his voice?
Johnny, fucking Heath Slater makes fun of himself by existing.
I don't know what is wrong with that kid.
He just cut his goddamn hair.
I mean, there's really nothing to get
over.
No
one will ever take him seriously. No one will take him seriously because everybody now views him as the chick from Wendy's.
Not even that.
Even before that, people in the crowd were going, I hate you, Heath Slater. I hate you.
No one likes him. He's the smelly kid in fucking high school. He's the kid no one fucking likes.
Wade Barrett himself said that he wants to punch Heath Slater in the face every time he talks.
No, he is X-Pac in Fast Forward. He is X-Pac without the period of being over. And that's not really, that's really giving not enough due credit to fucking Sean Waltman either, but yeah, this was a short match. They maybe tried to get over it in the beginning that they knew each other very well and they were versing each other's like arm ringers and whatever the fuck. But he was too short. Gabriel wins with a 450 splash. The only thing notable was Booker T saying Booker T Bonics.
Also, I gotta give props to Justin Gabriel. He's getting better incrementally.
No, he's a good worker. I want to see him go out on a singles career.
Exactly.
Well, at least he's not with fucking Dirtface anymore. At least he's not with Dirtface McLoser anymore.
Both of these guys are in Money in the Bank, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to see Justin Gabriel versus Sin Cara. That would be awesome.
That would be a good match.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad at all.
Yeah, triple threat for the next pay-per-view. Like, put one of the belts on them. Justin Gabriel versus Sin Cara versus Daniel Bryan.
I mean, if one thing's notable about this, Justin Gabriel appears to be the face. So if, like, Cody Rhodes wins the Intercontinental belt, then, like, he and Daniel Bryan could have matches, like, contending for that. Like, that possibilities are there.
They recap Raw with CM Punk, and
we already talked
main event
about
time, and I'm long past the point of caring.
Oh no, but you don't have to. This was a shit main event.
Oh,
you can't call this a main event at all. Basically, it's a count out or a DQ when Christian comes in to distract Orton. I forgot which one it was. Like, it wasn't even that easy to tell when I actually saw it. Oh, it was a count out. Yeah. Kane wins.
It was a count out after
This match sucked.
Yeah. No S.0.
Like, this won't, like, have any consequence. Like, Kane won't go anywhere after this. No reason he had this. After the match, he and Christian start stomping on Orton. Once Kane realizes that someone else is trying to steal his thunder, he threatens him. Christian runs away. Kane gets RKO'd. Orton gets speared. And Orton keeps chair-shotting Kane because his anger is coming out.
Girl,
what was that line, Kane?
Very, very angry.
Yes, Kane, what was that line you said earlier? How monsters don't lose? Yeah.
No, he didn't lose
about 10 seconds.
He won by countout. So,
well, won the...
The only really notable thing about this is the water bottle.
Oh yeah, Christian used a water bottle.
And not in the way you'd think he'd use a water bottle, like throwing it at him or hitting him over the head with it. He didn't even throw water at him. He poured it down Randy Orton's back.
And that pissed him off.
Pissed off fan going like, I'm gonna fuck up the show.
The fuck are you doing, Christian? But yeah, he reacted like he fucking like threw a hot coal in his back or whatever the fuck. But I actually got to talk about one thing. They recapped the whole CM Punk promo with Vince McMahon and Cena, and they did it in a good style. Like, it started out as the following is a message by CM Punk, like that whole NWO kind of guerrilla ghetto kind of thing. And throughout it, like, they had pictures of Vince McMahon, and they had all these title cards like Tyrant, Dictator, stuff like that. Very, like, if anyone's ever seen the movie Parallax View, kind of like the subliminal brainwashing scene in that. It was done. Like, it was fancily like another good WWE kind of produced recap.
Yeah.
But
if there's one thing they're really, really, really good at, it's this kind of thing.
But that SmackDown, it was obviously, like, if it transmits anything, like, it didn't have as good a presentation as a Hype for Their Money in the Bank match. Like, I look forward to Orton and Christian's match again, but Raw was the clear go-home show for this pay-per-view.
Yeah. SmackDown was okay. It wasn't great, but, you know, it did what it needed to do to put over the pay-per-view.
SmackDown kind of sucked the energy out of the air a bit. It sucked the energy out of this show, for me at least. I think I need a nap.
Well, you're not taking that nap yet, Backlash. We gotta talk about the pay-per-view.
Yes.
If we have.
Yeah, I guess we should make some predictions for the pay-per-view.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the card?
Punk versus Cena.
Should
we start from the bottom up?
Yeah,
start from the bottom up.
Yeah.
Okay, Kelly versus Brie Bella. Don't give a fuck. Next match.
Kelly wins.
Yeah, Kelly
wins.
Mark Henry versus Big Show. This could go either way. I think Big Show is going to win because I don't really think they want to fire off anything on Mark Henry.
I foresee this going to a DQ.
Or that, yeah. That actually.
Yeah, I can see it just is like a double count out or a double DQ, which leads to SummerSlam where it's a like a hardcore match or a no holds barred.
Or a cage match.
No.
And Mark Henry and cages have a bad history.
No, well, if anything, if it's a cage match, it could end in 2 minutes by Mark Henry just ripping the door off from the inside and leaving.
And actually,
he's not ripping the door off in 2 minutes.
No, it'll backfire on him. He'll throw Big Show into it. Big Show will fall through the cage wall, and he wins.
Yeah, no.
They've done that before.
Oh no, WCW has done that before too. Only it involved Goldberg and Russo in the title.
Yeah, they did that with Big Show's first night in WWF when he threw Austin through the cage, and Austin won it.
Oh yes, and he debuted as Paul Welch, his real name.
Next match. Actually, how about, what do you think since WWE loves doing these impromptu matches on the show, it's probably going to be like the tag belts. So New Nexus versus who gives a fuck. I don't know who in the hell they'd be able to.
Jackson versus someone. Or Dolph versus Zeke.
My god. No.
Non-title mid-card belt match.
Why would it non-title? Why?
Regardless, both champions.
Oh yeah, title versus title or whatever. I don't know.
Well, they usually say that for Night of Champions, but yeah.
Yeah, and then they have SmackDown Money in the Bank.
I'm gonna have to go with Sheamus.
Same here, Sheamus or Wade Barrett.
Yeah, I'm tossed up between those two also. Like I think they could just want to give Sheamus that third title reign, the third world title reign, just to put more feathers in his cap, or they could want to pull the trigger on Wade Barrett like they didn't want to do last year.
I'm gonna say Daniel Bryan.
Really? Wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking, but I believe in miracles.
Okay, I mean, to be fair, last year I thought it was Drew McIntyre. He was going to win because, number one, he had just lost the Intercontinental belt. Number two, he was the chosen one. Like, no matter how not over he was, Vince McMahon apparently wanted to push him. And I thought, okay, Kane has this thing with The Undertaker. This won't involve the world title. It did.
Yeah.
They surprised me. But I think third in line beyond Sheamus and Wade Barrett is Cody Rhodes. But I think he's actually going to go for the mid-card belt after this. Ted failed to win it, so he's like, I'll show you how, and I'll win it. Not much else to say. I think it'll probably be the most interesting in terms of the spots they do, because they have some pretty good people in it. Sin Cara, Daniel Bryan, Gabriel, Cody Rhodes.
True.
Like a nice kind of variety. But I guess we'll talk about the World Heavyweight Championship match now.
I think there will be Christian shenanigans where Christian will use Eddie Guerrero styled whack the chair on the mat, throw it at Randy, lie down, act hurt, ding ding ding, Christian's your new champion. I think that's the way they'll go with it.
I honestly don't see them having the title change hands on a DQ. I think Christian might accidentally get himself disqualified and then continue his bitching.
Yes.
Just to extend this.
I fully agree with you.
There's the problem, though, is that if they end it in the way I see it, is that if they end it in any other way than Christian using shenanigans to win, is that there will be no point in dragging the feud out to SummerSlam. Because the feud's already running dry as it is. Because there's not many more ways that they can do, Christian versus Randy Orton.
I personally agree with...
Every match they've had together has been very good, but it's starting to run dry. Plus, I think they might pull the trigger on Christian this time because SmackDown's ratings are fucking terrible ever since Randy won.
Yeah, but in terms of Orton retaining, I kind of agree with Backlash. I think that they're going to have the face triumph by the heel, going through some flimsy irony where he gets DQ'd.
Yeah, they'll probably drag this out till at least SummerSlam and have a big blow-off match, some stipulation.
Christian's lost, but Christian will have lost every match in the feud by then.
Yeah, so over under is the winner going to cash in?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no for SmackDown.
Wait, are we? No. No.
And the next, you were going to say?
No, go ahead.
Raw Money in the Bank.
Next, we've got Raw Money in the Bank. Alberto Del Rio.
Del Rio, no question.
Del Rio. You already knew that.
I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going on a fucking. I'm putting all my money on Alex fucking Riley.
Who the hell knows? Again, it would be another surprise. Like, contrasting, like, SmackDowns, I knew fucking Miz was going to win last year. I'd do it. Like, it was... Like, he was starting to appear on segments with Randy Orton. Something was up. Like...
Well, Del Rio already has a number one contendership that he's getting screwed out of. It's basically like a requirement for him to win Money in the Bank at this point.
Yeah, so he can keep talking about his destiny or whatever.
And then it's like Raven when he was in TNA. He would always talk about his destiny. But do you think the winner will cash in though? Yes.
Yeah.
If CM Punk wins, because there's the scenario that's been played around on the forums that the SmackDown winner will come out per orders of Vince McMahon, lose, and then Del Rio comes out and wins.
Which will, I mean, if that does happen, it'll not only accomplish, like, the crowd will be fucking pit. Like, he will get heel heat like nobody's business.
Yeah,
no one.
But it'll bury the fuck out of the SmackDown winner, but it'll push Del Rio to that upper echelon of heat. Because he's right there. He is right there. He needs that one last push, and that one last nudge to get him to break through the proverbial glass ceiling is to have him beat CM Punk in Chicago on CM Punk's last night.
And of course, one thing I'd like to address is that people are saying, like, oh, Del Rio wins and Cena still gets fired. No. Because Vince McMahon, if Vince McMahon said that if CM Punk walks out with the belt, not if Cena loses. So
I'm sorry, but no scenario is going to lead to fucking John Cena getting fired.
Again,
something just came to mind. Vince McMahon said, and Cena, if they could do this ridiculous loophole, because Vince McMahon said verbatim, if CM Punk walks out of Chicago with the belt, I will fire you. CM Punk lives in Chicago, he just has to go down the street and he'll be back home. So he'll have never left Chicago. So Cena won't be fired. It's the moment, like, they'll do like a little segment, like, I would love to see this. Like, they do a little segment where where all he's doing is walking around Chicago, and he's walking around the borders of the city limits, and then he steps his pinky toe, or like his pinky finger, outside the city limits, and he's like, oops, you're fired now. That would be the fucking most amazing CM Punk anything ever.
I see Punk winning over Cena. Del Rio cashes in, takes the title. Cena gets it back at SummerSlam.
Well, like, the only thing is, like, if Cena does have shoulder neck problems and he actually is looking to be shelved for like a month or two, then you never know. Like,
yeah, not to mention that Vince needs to keep that cash cow for WrestleMania 28 intact, because the one thing that would suck immensely, like, it would probably hurt business to a very big degree, is if Cena did not take a break right now and he gets injured a month before WrestleMania and they have to cancel Rock versus Cena.
It's basically what they need to do right now is Cena needs to just take a break right now, be gone for like 3 months, or even 3 months, I'd say, and he can come back triumphantly, however they want to do it, or they can just keep pushing the fuck out of him, and he can burn himself out right before WrestleMania, and probably never even be able to continue his career.
Yeah. Plus, it would, if they give Cena a break now, it would give the fans a big, breathing point, because if the response that Cena got in both of his segments on Monday are any indication, and the build up to that over the last couple of months, people have been getting more and more tired of him. So giving him 2 or 3.
The only thing that really worries me is WWE doesn't seem to think long term about things. They're not really thinking about what's going to get us ratings 3 months from now. They're thinking what's going to get us ratings tomorrow night, having Cena on television.
Yeah, they need to follow. I've called it the Paul Heyman principle. what is business going to be like in 3 years? We don't give a shit about the next month of ratings because they're not going to matter in 3 years. That was Dev 2. They were the front office, Vince and Johnny Ace and Kevin Dunn. They just say, "Oh, look, new guys. They don't do anything." That's because you fucking dipshits. You didn't give them the chance to do anything. Imagine, you can't just build a John Cena or an Edge or a Randy Orton overnight. You need to spend a year or so doing that. That's what they did when Jeff Hardy came back. He just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And over those 3 years, he became the hottest guy in WWE. And it's baffling how poorly mused a lot of the guys are these days. Did nobody learn a fucking thing from WCW?
Are we still on the show?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Okay. I think I've had enough. I think I've ranted enough. I can probably continue ranting once the show's over, but
right,
we have a time limit on.
Let's just.
What did everybody think of this week in WWE?
It sucked.
Good go home show.
Raw was okay. SmackDown sucked.
Yeah, the go home shows are usually meh, but it was.
This one was
the promos. The contract negotiation at the end of Raw was great. The Raw Money in the Bank segment was great. SmackDown sucked overall. Other than the Christian trolling segments, those were the only really good parts of the night for me.
Yeah, Cody and Ted's matches I thought were decent enough, but
overall a mediocre week, and hopefully our hopes and prayers won't be crushed too hard on Sunday.
I mean, I wouldn't call it mediocre. I'd call it decent enough just for the fact that I'm still excited for Money in the Bank and for the same reasons.
Yeah, if they built up Money in the Bank to be a total shit fest, no one would be fucking happy at all with these Raws and with this Raw and with SmackDown.
But either way, I guess that's dark match for this week.
Let's take it home with what gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
And Zack Ryder.
I'll start us off.
It's WWE. What gets more screen time than Zack Ryder? Vince McMahon making fun of Zack Ryder fans gets more time than Zack Ryder.
Water used as a deadly weapon gets more screen time than Zack Ryder.
Oh, well, WWE ice cream bars get more screen time than Zack Ryder.
Than both of them.
Yeah.
I don't fucking have one.
Well, then, I guess that is all for the Dark Match this week. We will see you next time for Money in the Bank. For everyone here, I'm Backlash.
I'm Christopher Says.
I'm No Leaf.
I'm Subrick.
God damn it, whatever. Good night and good luck. Cue me.
Adios.